we're super excited. If you're an insomniac, the parent of a newborn, or just a bleary-eyed lover of local morning television, then Paige, Fehling, and Jason Harper are your new best friends, or at least they should be, because they host Good Day Charlotte on weekday mornings from 4:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Woo! Holy cow, 4:30 to 9 a.m. on the Fox 46 morning show, Good Day Charlotte. Now, some of you may know that Tim and I go on to Good Day Charlotte once a month to do a Queen City Quiz Show segment, which is super fun. And what we've had the pleasure of discovering is that their on-air personalities are their real-life personalities. I mean, what you see is what you get. They are, in an industry that's all about sort of artifice and sameness, and that's not them at all. They are putting their honest personas out into the world, and they're succeeding. And whether it's in the studio or on social media or just out interacting with their fellow Charlotteans. And we just thought that this would be a great place to dive into our topic of honesty from a whole nother level. So, that being said, they made it here on time, which we're super excited about. Ladies and gentlemen, here to speak to us on our global theme of honesty, please welcome Charlotte's own dynamic daybreak duo, Paige Fehling and Jason Harper. Come on up, people.
I know, Jason really wanted to dance for you, but he's just encumbered with all of his props there that we're going to see.
I got props. Who likes props?
You know what? We got some props for you. If y'all are hot, we brought some fans. Dave, are we able to pass those out?
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
Dave.
Folks, not you, but if we can throw them out.
You guys, raise your hand. Listen, when we pulled up, I thought this sort of looks like a revival going on, so we thought we'd bring some church fans.
Keep that sign.
Get the software engineer a fan, you guys. We got some revival fans for you guys because apparently AC was crossed out of our contract to do this, and so we're going to help you guys out. So if you guys want a fan, we'll pass them around. Really cool.
Jason, believe me when I tell you, Jason and I are sweating more than anyone else here anyway, so don't worry. Take a fan, use it.
Oh my gosh, your pits are terrible.
You're right. You've got us.
Holy mother.
You know what? I'm going to break the rules for you for this next piece, and you can hold your sign up like this. Or you can air them out. You know what? Do what you want. There you see, I like it. Keep it real. All right, so Matt just started with this for in online. You guys did the quiz, right? You did the honesty quiz already. Oh my gosh, so many fans going. I love it.
This is good.
You didn't keep one for yourself, Harps. I know.
Feels good, doesn't it?
So let's take your temperature a little bit, no pun intended, about how honest you are in person too. So I know y'all all woke up this morning, you had a wonderful morning already, and you've watched Good Day Charlotte since 4:30 a.m., since Jason and I got on. That was not a joke. Thank you for laughing at it anyway. Everybody's been tuning in since then. You had a great morning. But raise your hand, anybody here, if you snapped at your spouse this morning. Hi, Insta Stories. Raise your hand if you maybe were running a little bit late on the way here this morning and you went over the speed limit. Ooh. Raise your hand if you've ever driven drunk.
Whoa, this is serious.
Some of y'all are honest. Some of y'all are lying. You already did it online. Raise your hand if you've ever cheated on a test. Liars and cheaters. Raise your hand if you've ever cheated on a romantic partner. Not so many hands. Raise your hand. Jason and I will turn around for this one. Jason, no looking. We need to talk some more in commercial breaks. Look at the wall. Raise your hand if you do not trust the media. Okay, put your hands down. Now raise your hand if you should have raised your hand on any of these questions that I just asked and you didn't.
That's good.
Because you knew that if you did, people would have some follow-up questions, right? I wasn't sure which questions to ask because I knew some people would want to clarify things in their minds, by the way. If I said, raise your hand if you'd ever have plastic surgery, I know everybody's going to go, well, do injectables count?
Good point.
I don't know if they count, y'all, but let me just tell you, 2 weeks ago, yes. I had the forehead of a 12-year-old for a good reason, and I would have raised my hand loud and proud. Of course, I could have asked if you'd ever use hair sprinkle, and Jason would have gotten to do a dance for you, too, yes.
Listen, if you want to know about hair sprinkle, come find me afterwards. It is amazing. I don't know whose hair is in this can that I shake on my head every day, but it's awesome.
It's not
All
mine.
right, sorry, go
I
ahead.
got to clip mine on, yeah.
That's great.
So honesty is hard, guys, and honesty is something that sometimes comes to us naturally. Sometimes you have to kind of check yourself and make yourself be honest. Sometimes you have a job like Jason and I do. We're lucky. We get to be ourselves. We're asked to be ourselves. We're encouraged to be ourselves and be honest, but maybe not completely all the time. And here's what I mean by that. When Fox 46 launched, how long have y'all been here? Jason's been here, what, 2 years now? Yeah. In the Charlotte area. I've been here about 4. Anybody newer than we are? I'm sure some, right?
Couple, yeah.
Couple? Anybody older than we are? 4. She gave her whole, you've been here 42 years or you are 42? I mean, you are totally honest. Yes, I love that. Okay. So when we first launched the station, neither Jason nor I was there, but when Fox 46 first launched, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, it was a disaster. And we'll own that, okay? It was a disaster. Fox had this new idea. They bought up the stations around the country. They were buying all the NFC markets, okay? So they wanted the Panthers market, buy the station, turn it around. Well, as part of their idea to do that, they said, you know what? We're also going to do the newsroom of the future. We're going to do all live from your phone, all digital, all high tech, all this, all that, all, you guys know what this all means too, all low budget, right? Which helps, okay? But you get people who are scrappy and they can do it. So they hired a core of journalists who were young and smart and hustlers, and a lot of them didn't know what the heck they were doing on TV, and they will own that. And some of them are still there. The good ones are still there, and they are real good now. Mm-hmm. But some of them are gone. And what happens when you have that is you have some couple months where things are really rough on television. But after a couple years, you get some reps in, and those young reporters aren't so young after a while, and those inexperienced reporters aren't so inexperienced after a while, and guess what happens? One night, Charlotte has protests uptown, and live trucks can't get uptown, and live crews can't go live because everybody's on their phones. And nobody can go anywhere because there's security issues and there's roads closed down. And crews can't get where they're supposed to go. But guess who can? Your young, scrappy reporters who are used to going, oh, I'll make it work. I got this. I can go live on my phone. And they'll get on there and tell you straight up, look, I don't know what you're going to hear. I'm going to put this live, and you can just follow on because this is what's happening in your city, and I want you to know. And our station actually won an Emmy Award for our young, scrappy, inexperienced, messed up big time at first reporters because they knew what to do when it was time to just get on there and go, you know what, this is us. So sometimes being honest is just being. And there are things that happen in TV, and in particular in TV news, that we have learned along the way and that we're still learning every day along the way that we think are really applicable to really anybody's life and anybody's job because it all kind of overlaps together. So Jason's going to jump in here a little bit. I'm a little bit nervous about Jason's part because he brought props. And we discussed this morning, you're not going to tell me what the props are, right?
No, but this is what's great about the two of us working together is when you trust your creative partner, yes, it's nice to have a plan, but you don't always have to rehearse everything. Clearly, look at Matt and Tim. When you trust that person's instincts, I trust her with everything. I don't have to walk out there, and we don't have to talk to them. She's got my back. I got her back. No matter what happens, everything falls apart on air. I know what she's going to do. She knows what I'm going to do. Let me tell you, there's some comfort in that. So
I don't know what you're going to do right now, though. And all I'm picturing, by the way, Jason, is the video you showed me earlier this week of the kid. Did you guys see this? The Google kid who brought his mom's rocket ship for show and tell. And
listen,
if you haven't seen
do not have the kids
Google
around.
it.
Don't
It's
have the kids
hilarious.
around. There's some kids together with like a therapist, and it's show and tell time, and the boy brought his mom's rocket ship for show and tell.
It's really funny. Google it. Don't Google it with your kids
We'll leave
around.
it there. I'm going to leave it there.
Yep.
But anyway, so listen.
So what's in your bag, Jay?
It's slowly progressing. People are like, "Oh, rocket ship."
Someone whisper to your neighbor.
Hey. Happy anniversary, NASA. Okay, so people ask us a lot. If they come to the studio for the first time, they're kind of amazed, either at the size because it's smaller than they thought or bigger than they thought. They come in there and they're kind of looking around and they're either surprised. Again, at the time we get up around 2:00 every morning. That's kind of our schedule. And we leave around noon every day. But
usually we do.
Usually, I mean, by the time we get Thursday, Friday, we're sleeping in a little bit till like 2:15. Woohoo! But they're surprised by what all is going on. We're multitasking like crazy. We got so much going on with social media. It's like 2 or 3 different broadcasts all at one time. We're talking to the phone. We're talking to this camera. We're talking to producers. And so they're kind of like, my gosh, you guys are doing everything at one time. And then the other thing they always say is, you guys make it look really easy. Well, I guess it's because of that comfort between us, and we've been doing it so long. And there's a lot of prep time. When you guys prep for something, by the time you get to the execution stage, you know what you're doing. That's where you rely on your skills and your talents that you kind of have grown up with. And that's kind of where we are. But some of the skills of the trade, you want to know some of the things that we have to get through every single morning, starts with...
Oh, is this your cinnamon coffee?
Got to have coffee. In order to wake up at 2 o'clock and be on air for 4.5 hours every day, you can still smell it, can't you? Good
Jason
stuff.
basically drinks his coffee like a cinnamon stick in a cup. I don't know
There you
if there's
go.
any
That's
coffee
it.
in
Coffee is
It's
the
all
first
creamer.
tool. Second tool. What is it?
Makeup bag.
You know what that is.
I
Makeup.
do.
There's nothing more masculine than me wearing makeup, mascara, eyeliner. I wear it all. I've learned from YouTube. I still have it on. It's still going.
I know. You look amazing.
All right, next up, the other tool. The very first time I met Paige Fehling, I had to do an audition a couple years ago. I sat next to her for the first time. They turned the camera on and they said, go. I didn't know anything about her, and we just had to talk on camera. What was the first conversation we ever had?
Oh, gosh. I remember you quizzing. Oh, is it your hair sprinkle? Is this your hair sprinkle?
No, but it was who was the world's worst
Oh,
sweater.
yes. It was.
I mean, you might be worse. Your pits are pretty bad, bro. But
Yes.
I sweat really bad, but you told me yours is so bad, she has prescription deodorant. I didn't even know that was a thing. So
You're welcome.
There was this
It's amazing.
bond that came between us, which is why we always have one of these, which is a sweat rag. What's the next thing in here? We always have a clip on something. Everything we do has to be documented, social media, everywhere we go. So we have one of those
Here,
for
I
our
still got
phone.
hands. I got you. I
We
got
got
your
everything.
back,
We
Jason.
got
I
everything. Huh? Oh, you got it
you.
here. I'll keep handing it to you.
Yeah, there we go.
That's it. We got note cards, we have internet, and then we have our smiles. Honestly, that's really all the tools we have to do what we do. And a lot of it is just storytelling. I'll take it back from you,
Careful.
girl. Thanks for holding all that. A lot of it is just doing what we do, being prepared. People want to know, and we like to call it making the sausage. People want to know, how do they make the sausage? How do they do it there? We have a great team of producers, writers, editors. By the time we come in around 3:30 in the morning, we've had editors there since midnight that are helping us put it all together. Yes, we have a little run through, not even a run through. We talk through what we're going to do, and then we go out there. Half of what comes out of my mouth, our mouth, we haven't talked about it. We haven't read it. We're looking at it for the first time as we're saying it, and things mess up every single day. But part of what Matt and Tim, I think, are drawn to, and hopefully you guys, we are perfectly imperfect. And we have beautiful flaws. And I used to try to hide them when I first got in TV because I thought I had to be this Ron Burgundy kind of a person on there. I did. That's all I knew. I didn't go to school for broadcasting. I was a performer and did jazz hands. I thought I had to be someone that I wasn't. And I realized quickly, the more you can relate to people, and once you have kids and all these things, and you can show your imperfections, still be professional, people, they kind of gravitate to that, and I think that's what people kind of like with us, and I love that with Paige as well.
It's such a freeing feeling, and I don't know if you guys ever experienced this when you were in school growing up, but when you're sitting in class, again, just like you all had a perfect morning and woke up and started watching Good Day at 4:30, I know all of you in class always paid attention all the time, and we're just completely locked in, right? But every now and then, some of us were called on by the teacher when you weren't paying attention, or you were half asleep, or something else was going on, right? And what do you try to do right away? Page 42, George Washington and something, Abraham Lincoln, 4 + 4 = I don't know, and you just try to make something up, right? Well, the first time that you have one of your classmates straight up own, I don't know, I'm sorry, I was distracted. You go, oh, I could just be honest about that? I can just say, I wasn't paying attention. You did this on air the other day.
Pretend we're playing the video on this high-tech, whatever this is, projector up here, since we have our screen today. Yeah, we were going to show you this clip. This actually happened yesterday. We're multitasking all the time. One of our anchors was in the studio reading a story. We're doing social media. I'm totally typing, not watching, not listening at all. And she finishes the story, and what did she say?
What do you guys think?
Here's me. She goes, yeah, you guys, what do you think? Well, your partner's supposed to have your back. I just told you guys about someone's supposed to have your back.
I had my phone.
Someone threw me under the cat's bus, and she goes, Jason, what do you think? She knew I wasn't listening.
I did this.
I mean, I looked up, and I was like, so in that split second, and this is life, in that split second, you have the choice to make something up and hope you don't get caught, or do I tell the truth, whatever the consequences may be? Well, mine is happening in real time on television. And so I looked up, and I had no clue what she was talking about. And I went, I don't have a comment. I mean, she was surprised by that because she wanted to comment. And
she didn't let you go either.
No. So she tried to follow up, and I said, you know what? I wasn't paying attention. My mind was somewhere else. I was working on something else. Rochelle, I have no idea what you just said. I've never done that before. You know, I don't want to get in trouble by my boss or something, but it is what it is.
But what are you going to do? What are you going to do exactly? We had Nick Koser, our meteorologist, who apologizes for these temperatures. He said, what did he call it today? August 56th?
August 56th today. Yeah.
It's not October 4th or whatever. It's August 56th, and he's right. It feels like it. But a couple weeks ago, he was tossing over the desk. I think you weren't there. Howard Monroe was co-anchoring with me, and he said, okay, and now it's time to toss it on over to Chuck Rhodes in the Chuck Rhodes Traffic Center. Don't mind him. He's just going to spritz a little bit there. Good. And they came to me on camera, and I was in the middle of eating my breakfast. Y'all, I had a mouthful of cashews, and I was holding a cashew in my hand. And they took the camera on me, and I looked up and said, oh, well, let me finish this bite. Hold on. And then into the next story. Because what are you going to do, right? But you know what we all do before we're comfortable enough to do that, and before we've realized it's okay to just be honest and share stuff with people? The first time when I started off, too, in TV, I sat down with a friend, the woman that I was about to interview, who happened to be a friend. She was a spouse of one of the guys that I worked with, and I said, we were talking about a concert that was coming up, and I said, oh, I think it was Bon Jovi. We were in Raleigh. Bon Jovi's coming to Raleigh, and she was telling me all about the concert that she'd been to and how much she loved it and all this and that, and it was scripted that we would ask each other a question about, have you been to the concert? Are you thinking of going to the concert? So we stopped talking. We came back on, 3, 2, 1. Hey there, welcome back, and we're here. I don't even remember the name of the show. Good Day, Charlotte. And so Janice, have you ever thought about what do you think it would be like going to one of these concerts? And she goes, "What? We just talked about this in the commercial break. I've been to go see Bon Jovi, and I was great. It was you guys. It was live TV, and I was like 20-nothing years old, and I kind of had a little bit of a heart attack, as Jason said on air the other day. I might have peed in my pants a little bit right there on set. Jason gets in trouble a lot for the things that he says on TV, and the rest of us thank him because it's what we're all thinking. But I said, oh, we can just kind of do the honesty thing. I can actually kind of have this conversation with you and tell you the truth of what we're about to talk about. And it's not always like that, but it's so much better when it is.
I want to show you guys something real quick, because I think this is something that in the creative process, television is very fast. You see little snapshots of someone's life, of someone's story, whether it's heartbreak or hope and healing or something hilarious. In television, you only get 2.5 to 3 minutes. And if you guys have ever been a guest on our show, or you work in marketing, you've had your restaurant come on, you get it, because you have in your mind 10 minutes of what you're going to plan out, and then you find out, you get there, you have 2 minutes. And so that is extremely fast. We finish segments all the time going, oh my gosh, I wish we had more time. We wanted to tell the story, or we wanted to do A, B, and C, and we don't get that opportunity. So for us to create, we have a very tight amount of time. 3 minutes is a lot in television. So we started thinking about this the other day, and I find this really interesting. Paige, will you help me? There we go.
Yep.
You'll grab this end.
Yep.
This sits over our newsroom. We see this all every day. And this says, you guys say it all with me out loud. Here we go. Put your best stuff first. Now, can anyone look at this and tell me, is there anything ironic about this poster? Okay, first is last. That's pretty good. I didn't think about that. This is the most boring, god-awful looking poster I've ever seen in my life. All right, so if you're in marketing, if you're a creative genius out there, I look at this and I go, this company had one shot. They had one 3-minute segment to put their best foot forward, to make a difference in our newsroom, to make a difference on social media, to make a difference on a billboard on 77. This is all they gave us? No color, no cool graphics, no nothing? Let's get the creative team together and go, what should we do? Oh my gosh, let's put Arial font black on white. Brilliant, do it. Are you serious?
Ooh, but we could at least do all caps for one word.
Oh, they did. They went caps a couple times because it was probably free. Yeah. So this is it. Anyway, I point that out to say there's a lot of companies that come on, and I want to encourage you, because this is what we have to do every day. We get given something, and we have to make something beautiful and wonderful and engaging out of it, and it's kind of dropped in our lap. And we get together and go, Paige, how can we make this interesting for our viewers? I don't want you to turn the channel. I want you to be drawn in. I want you to be engaged. And so we try to work with the marketing team. Sometimes we have 30 seconds in a commercial to put our heads together and go, oh my God, this is really going to be terrible. It's a good story, but it's just going to suck. And I hate that for everyone involved. And so it kills us because we're so creative and we want the best for those 3 minutes. And so I encourage you, if you don't already have a 3-minute plan, figure it out. If you had 3 minutes, whether it's on a podcast or on social media, or you come on our show, if we called you tomorrow and said, you're coming on our show, you got 3 minutes, what are you going to do? What's the coolest, most memorable thing that you could possibly do for your brand And that's it. You don't get to come back next week. That's all you have is 3 minutes. Are you going to make the best of that? And I hope you would. We do get do-overs sometimes, but sometimes you don't. And so that kind of meant something to me in how we put our show together. And I kind of wanted to encourage you guys with that too. Think about whatever that 3-minute plan is. Man, make it the best thing you could possibly make it. Because you guys, we might have our future guests out here, Paige.
Oh, I hope that we do. I always tell people, be careful if you come talk to me during the networking hour, because I'm going to try to put you on TV. So if you come say hi, we'll pick your brain and see what you can do. Now, piggybacking here on what Jason said just a little bit, because we want to make this useful to you for when you leave here, and even if you don't come on and have a segment on TV, right? Because you know what not all of us do, if you're not going to be on TV somewhere, is we all have social media, right? We all have our Facebook accounts, we have our Instagram accounts, we have our Twitters, and you want to be real on there, people. Social media loves two extremes, though, don't they? Mm-hmm. Social media really only loves the brutal honesty of, this is me, no makeup, no this, no that, hashtag no filter, don't I look like garbage, look at this woman. Y'all know who Rachel Hollis is? You know that name? She is everywhere right now. She wrote Girl Wash Your Face. She and her husband do the Rise podcast and Rise Together, that's like #1 and #2 on podcasts everywhere. She is everywhere. Do you know how she first got started? Do you know when she really exploded? She was a food blogger, but do you know when she really exploded? Anybody know this? I wouldn't be able to hear you if you do. So she is the woman, if you remember this, she's the one who posted a picture of herself in a bikini, simple bikini picture. It had a monogram on the front. She'd had 3 kids, and you could see her stomach. You could see her stretch marks. You could see that it wasn't perfect. Do you guys remember this? It was like an orange. You remember? That was Rachel Hollis. And that put her everywhere. And people say she's so real, and isn't this wonderful? She's honest. So social media loves that. But you know what else social media loves? The Kardashians. Someone just audibly vomit over here.
That was Tim's like, yes.
I know. Tim loves a good Kardashian. But that is really, let's be honest, the epitome of not real. And everything is filtered and structured and choreographed, and just it's everything that's not. Well, you kind of want to hit those somewhere in the middle, don't you? If you want people to really see the real you and what's really going on there. When you post those family pictures, there is no such thing as, Jason and I have had to learn this ourselves for work too, but it's really the case for everyone. It's not just if you're on TV or if you're in public. Your work Facebook page is not different than your personal Facebook page. There should be, it's still you in both places, right? But the question is how to kind of balance those two things appropriately.
Yeah, and I like that because we still have to be fair and balanced when we're on TV. We still let our opinions come through, but there's a lot of things we can't comment on. 1, because we don't have the time, and 2, it's not an opinion show, and so we kind of just have to give the facts. But the social media allows us to. She does a great job. Her and Jake and their 15,000 kids and all the fun drama and the nighttime wrestling matches and all the fun things they get to do. You get to see that side of her on social media, and I get to share things about. We both get to share things about our faith and our kids and struggles of up and down and all that kind of stuff, and that's an awesome platform for that. You have to, oh gosh, what did my dad used to say, with great power comes great responsibility, and that's how the social media is. And try to teach my girls, you put something on there one time, never going to go away. You better treat that with respect.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something too about social media. I don't know if any of you have ever faced this as well, and I want to focus on that because that really is all of our platform, right? That's all of our microphone right now. That's really what we can all use. Well, a couple months ago, I guess it was, social media is very much pushed where we are, okay? Because that is how we can get to people who don't necessarily watch TV. I didn't ask this before, but we were facing the other way. I'm going to face you this time. Raise your hand if you watch local news.
Ooh, that's good.
Woo.
That is
that's sad that
that's
good.
a scary.
Yeah.
That's a scary result.
That's a scary result. Not very many people, but we get that that's what the deal is, right? So people connect with people like us via social media instead of turning on the television a lot now. The television.
The television.
The television a lot. So that's how they get us. And I got called to the principal's office, y'all, a couple months ago, and my bosses sat me down and they said, look, we need a lot more of you online than we get. And I said, you guys get me from 2 a.m. on. I don't think there's much more I can give you. I'm tired. I share stuff. I post pictures of my family. I put something, and they said, Well, we need more because that's how we need to reach people. And people need to know that you are not, that it's not just a picture of your kid, that it's not just you and Jake messing around, doing a dance party with the family that night or what you cooked for dinner or whatever. You all being us and all of our journalists who are on TV, the way that we get the stories out about Charlotte to people who would be our viewers or should be our viewers or could be our viewers is via that platform too. And I'm a curmudgeon. I'm thinking, I'm still like in the MySpace mindset of like, well, social media is creepy and people are weird and they're going to find you and they're going to this and that. And it is where everyone gets everything now. Is that where you all get your news feeds? Yeah. I mean, that's where everybody gets everything, right? And that's how you can have actual real connections with people, but you have to let them see the real you in order for that to happen.
If you guys will just do us a favor, like next week, you guys pick out a day. If you will just like one time give us a chance, we'd love to maybe change your minds about the mornings. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't fit into your routine. It's no big deal. This is not a marketing ploy to try to get you guys to watch us. That's why we didn't pass out fans with our information on it. No, but listen, we love being able to connect with you guys in this way, whether you watch local news or not. It's no big deal. But just again, some of the things we've said, we hope you take to heart. Everyone has a story. And if it hasn't been told, you know what? You can benefit from your story. Whether you think you've been drugged through the mud and you don't even feel like you've come out on the other side, people can relate wherever you are in your life. And that's what's great about our social media and being on TV. She can post something with the kids that's awesome, and mine could be down in the depths, and the next day it may switch, and you can relate to that wherever you are in your life. And that's what's great about it. So keep telling your story. Keep pushing your brand, whatever it is, music, art, it doesn't matter what it is. A plastic back brace. Saw a high school student this morning at Charlotte Latin making a 3D printing.
3D printer.
There's some amazing, there's some creative people in this world, and I love that we're all coming together to do this. And I thank Charlotte's best couple, Matt and Tim. I thought you guys were a couple the first time you came on the show. I'm just saying.
You have been together for 30 years.
You guys you blow my mind. You really do. Thanks for giving us a little stage to kind of share our story. And we support the creative community in here. So come on our show sometime. We want to tell your story. We're all helping each other. It's a win-win.
Thanks, guys.
Paige and Jason, everybody, give them a round of applause. Bestowing of the official Creative Mornings Charlotte coffee mug. Next month, we're going to be the second Friday in November. Okay, second Friday, so it's going to be November 9th. And we're going to be exploring the theme Restart, and we're going to be at Temple Bethel at the JCC. And thank you for being here. Go out there and be honest, everyone. We love you guys.